Welcome back, YouTube. Today's Friday, February 19th, 2021. And if you enjoyed today's Gross Gang episode, fantastic. It was interesting. Now, the other day, I had talked about the nature of significance, which is exactly what reminds me of the craziness of turning the volume on my laptop to 2. And I had shown that in the Gross Gang episode today as well. I mean, these are just Gross Gang episodes, so you should just enjoy it for fun. Now, in China, people don't like the number 4 because it basically translates to death. So, in apartments, hotels, workplaces, when it comes to elevators, they just don't put 4 in the elevators. So that means the floor above 3 is classified as 5. And that's not just for 4. That's for any number that has 4 in it. Now, in various cultures around the world, people don't like the number 13. They believe it's bad luck. They believe it's a strong curse. And so that's why there are those movies about Friday the 13th everywhere. And so imagine going to a Chinese hotel and you get into the elevator and you book your hotel room to a 12th floor. And so the floor is numbered 12. And then you go upstairs and you realize that the floor number above 12 is 15. Well, that's just a culture. It varies. Now, without a matter of the culture, quite a lot of people don't prefer to have the number 0 in their elevators when it comes to workplaces at homes. Like suppose 1 is the lobby floor and the floor below is -1. Like they just don't prefer to have 0, not because they have any bad luck or any superstition about number 0, but the fact that it doesn't show any significance. Like 0 is just nothing. Although it's a very powerful number when it comes to multiplying things. Like whatever you multiply with 0, it's 0, and whatever it is to the power of 0 is 1. That's just math. Like people still tend to find it worthless to put 0 in their elevators. Like just put lobby, like L for lobby, and then 1, 2, 3, or it could just put 1 for your lobby, and then -1, -2, -3, or put 1 for your lobby, B1, B2, for the floors below the lobby level. Now let's go back to this. Suppose that this is the 12th floor of a Chinese residential building, and you take the stairs up, and what do you see? 15. Yep. The fact that they avoid 13, generally because in most cultures around the planet, they consider 13 to be an unlucky number. But they also avoid the 14th floor because it has the number 4 in it. Like it's not just 4 that they avoid. It is indeed any number that has 4 in that culture because the digit 4 brings bad luck in that culture. But if we compare that to my point of view in the number 2, then we're talking about so many differences here. Especially putting my volume on 2. That does not apply the same kind of insanity for, if I was to put my volume on 12. Like, I wouldn't have a problem turning my volume to a multi-digit number having 2 in it. In other words, I wouldn't mind my volume being 12. I wouldn't even mind it being 20 or 21. I wouldn't even mind it being 22, although it's 2 2s, because of the significance and how we see it around. Now, there seems to be a big logic behind this story of how any culture can adapt a visualization for any number. Well, particularly 4. Now, we're going to compare my point of view of 2 and 3 other numbers. So we're putting it like this: 2, 12, 21, and 22. So forget about 4, 13, and 14 now. We're moving on to 2, 12, 21, and 22. Now, suppose you're in a big dance club. You look around it, and from your visualization, it's pretty big. And even 55 people could come into it. But suddenly, you tend to realize that it is just you and your girlfriend. Or boyfriend if you're a girl watching this. And when it comes to my case, then I'm like, what the heck? Now, I have a vlog channel where I've been doing vlogs for 5 years, and I like discovering around places, and occasionally it feels great to be just me. But now let's just move on to number 12, right? Now imagine that it is you and 11 others in that dance club. So that's a total of 12. And you get into 3 groups of 4. And suppose you just make a drama-based play. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be much more fun with 12 people? Now, for 21, you just get into 3 groups of 7 and your band makes a really nice song. Now, suppose we put it this way. There are 3 singers, 2 drummers, 1 guitarist, and 1 pianist in that band. And also, let's just assume that this applies for the other 2 bands. Wouldn't it be another amusement? You and 20 other people in that dance club. A total of 21 people. And finally, 22. Although 22 is an even number, let's divide this into 3 groups. A group of 5, a group of 7, and a group of 10. Now, that group of 5 creates a drama-based play. And the group of 7 makes a band. And the group of 10 plays a competition like game. You know, one person gets eliminated and the second person gets eliminated. And then the finalists, and you know what I mean, right? It would be great. You and 21 others in that dance club, no matter if you're in that group of 5 or 7 or 10. So fun would it be with 22 total people in it. So now, if you were to look back at the video I put on Wednesday regarding this topic and were to write in the comments, hey, just because you can't turn your volume to 2, does that apply the same for 12, 20, 21, 22, 23, etc.? Well, no. As I have just explained, the matters of significance. So with this explanation being made, the differences between having just 2 people in a dance club versus 12, which is at least more creative, 21, and 22, even though it has 2 twos, it gives me the suggestion that it is much more creative. So that's why I'd rather have the volume on the TV to 12 than 2. That applies the same for 20, 21, and even 22. So yeah, that does give an extra explanation that I would feel okay with having the volume on the TV at 12 or any other multi-digit number, even if it has 2 in it, even 22, just 2 itself is that one that I would critically avoid. Now, suppose you play a lottery, right? I never played a lottery before, but the Pick 4 system of a lottery, where any number between 0 and 9 can appear more than once. Although it's out of 10 options, I can play 4 2s and hope for that number to win, because it's making me think 2,222. The only one that I would avoid is the first 3 numbers being 0 and the 4th number being 2. Because it really doesn't mean anything to put 0 at the beginning of a number. Like, for example, if your code was to be 064, then that just means 64, right? So when I say 0002 is the winning lottery number, that just means 2. That's the one I would avoid. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you liked it, and I will see you at another time. Enjoy. Like, subscribe.